among the crowd. Beijing International Airport is always crowded, but that day felt different. Among the clamor of departure announcements and hasty steps, there was one quiet but burdensome step. Liu Yuning lowered her face mask for a moment to sigh. No concert scheduled, no filming today. But for some reason, he was nervous. On the other side of the departure terminal, Song Zuer stepped in sunglasses and a loose white hoodie. A small bag was draped over her shoulder, and her long hair was flowing randomly. He didn't expect anyone to recognize him. He just wants to go. Stay away. Dodge. But the universe has other plans. An electrifying gaze. As Liu Yuning stood near the departure lounge, her eyes caught the figure. At a glance. But enough. His body stiffened. Zuer, he muttered softly, barely audible. Song Zuer, who was looking for an empty seat, stopped. He felt someone staring at him. He turned, and his heart jumped. Time stopped for a moment. That look. Too familiar. Too painful. It's been too long since he's seen her. Restrained conversation. You. Where are you going? Yuning asked finally, in a low but gentle voice. Song Zuer bit his lower lip. Want a little vacation. I just got back from the concert. Transit briefly. Silence is calling. People were passing by, but these two stars stood as if time did not move. It's been a long time, Yuna finally said. Yes. It's been a long time, Zimmer said. There was a tremor in his voice. A vibration that only Yuning could understand. Burning flashbacks. They were once close. Too close for two actors who never confess. They were never officially dating, but the world knew there was something between them. Both denied. But their gestures, the way they glanced at each other behind the camera, were all too real. But work, public pressure, and misunderstanding brought it all down. They're moving away. Not because there is no love. Too afraid to hurt each other. Sitting beside time. How long are you waiting for the flight? Yuning asked. There's still an hour, said Zuer. Same. They sit side by side. Without words. But in that silence, there was a boisterous feeling. You okay? Yuning asked slowly. Zuerlein looked up. Sometimes not. But I learned to pretend. Yuning smiled grimly. Me too. A voice that is always remembered. I heard your new song, Zuer said suddenly. Yuning turned quickly. The one titled, Stop in Your Heart. That song. It hurts. That's about you, Yuning muttered. I wrote it after we stopped talking to each other. Zuer averted his eyes. Her tears hang. But he didn't want to look fragile. You know, Yuning said, sometimes I wish we were nobody, so that I can talk honestly every day, without worrying about trending #1. Unspoken secrets. Have you ever? Zuer stopped. What? Ever wish we could start all over again? Yuning took a deep breath. Every day. But I'm scared. Afraid to hurt you again. Zuer looked into his eyes. Me neither. But if we keep running, we'll keep losing. When the flight is called. The announcement of the boarding call echoed. The airport soundtrack adds to the bitter atmosphere. That's my flight, Zuer whispered. Yuning stood with him. Can I get you to the gate? Zuer just nodded. At every step, there was a silence that said more than 1,000 words. Until they finally stopped. A final hug or a new beginning. Thank you for coming, Zuerlein said. I think we will continue to be strangers. We were never really strangers, Yuning said. It's a song I can't stop listening to. Zuer smiled faintly. Then open your hands. They hugged. Old. Shut up. Inside. Don't stay too long, okay? Yuning whispered. If you wait, I'll definitely be back, Zuer replied. After they split up. Yuning stood for a long time in front of the gate. staring at the plane carrying someone who still had part of his heart. The phone vibrated. Full Weibo notification. Song Zuer and Liu Yuning were seen together at the airport. Netizens are excited. Yuning didn't care. He just stared at the message screen. From Song Zuer. If you wait for me in the next song, I will come as part of your tune. A world that speaks. A few hours after the meeting, the hashtag Yuning Zuer Bandara immediately occupied the top trending on Weibo. Fans speculated, the media cheered, and haters prepared to attack. But Liu Yuning saw only one thing. Song Zuer's face on the small screen of her mobile phone. He opens the Messages app and types, "If I write a new song tonight, can I send it to you before the release?" Quick reply, "Sure. I want to know the tone." A song that never dies. In Yuning's small studio, he creates songs with only his guitar and his inner voice. The lyrics flow like water. You are the one who never left. Although the sky separates, your steps keep dancing. In my weary voice. He sent the piece of tape to Zuer. The answer is only 2 words. I cried. Invitation without sound. A few days later, an invitation reached Zuer. Not a formal invitation, but a Yuning concert tickets in Hangzhou, with a small note. "If you come, I will sing this song just for you." Zuer was silent for a long time. I knew it wasn't just a concert. This is a silent request for a new beginning. Between the stage and the heart. The evening concert was full. But Liu Yuning is looking for one face. And when the spotlights illuminated the stands, he saw it. Song Zuer, standing up, was wearing the same hoodie as at the airport. Without saying a word, Yuning changed the arrangement of the song. He sings his new song. He sang it with eyes cannot be separated from the figure in the stands. When the last verse is sung, their eyes meet. The world can be stormy, but for them, only that moment is meaningful. Dressing room and explosive feelings. Zuer waited backstage. When Yuning came in, there was no greeting, just a sudden hug. Tight. Inside. A longing that lasts too long. "I'm not going to run anymore," Zuer said. "Me too. We can face the world. As long as we don't hide from each other anymore." End or beginning. They never made an official statement. But the fans know. The camera captured hands clasping each other in the parking lot. A smile that could not be hidden. And when Liu Yuning released her album a month later, the title track was titled Gate 17. Songs about meetings. A song about starting over. The song that never ends. Their stories are not written on paper, but in the song. In the gaze. In the silence of the airport that saves the beginning of all. For Liu Yuning and Song Zuer, life is not about always being on stage. It's about daring to love. Even in the midst of the world's spotlight. And the airport. It will always be the first verse of their heart symphony.